comparative adjectives. Do you know how to make comparative adjectives? Here you will find the rules that you need to know. The key to making comparative adjectives is counting the syllables in the word. Every word is made up of units of speech, usually containing vowel sounds. Use ER for one-syllable words. For one-syllable words, we add ER to the adjective to make it a comparative. The following are all one-syllable adjectives. Small becomes smaller, cheap becomes cheaper, quick becomes quicker. Use more or less for two or more syllable words. Adjectives with two or more syllables take more or less. Beautiful becomes more beautiful. Sensitive becomes more sensitive. Dangerous becomes more dangerous. If the adjective ends in a consonant-vowel sound consonant combination, double the final consonant before adding ER. Big becomes bigger with double G. Hot becomes hotter with double T. And wet becomes wetter with double T. Use IER for adjectives ending in Y. For most adjectives that end in Y, we change the Y to an I and add ER. Dirty becomes dirtier with an I. Smelly becomes smellier with an I, and ugly becomes uglier with an I. Some adjectives take both forms. Some two-syllable adjectives can take either ER or more. Simple becomes simpler or more simple. Narrow becomes narrower or more narrow. Quiet becomes quieter or more quiet. Irregular forms. Some adjectives don't follow any of the rules above. Here are some of the most common irregular forms. Good becomes better, bad becomes worse, far becomes farther. Superlatives. When comparing more than two things, you'll likely use the words and phrases like smallest, biggest, tallest, most interesting, and least interesting. Notice the est ending and the words most and least. Make sure you use the proper ending or superlative adjective when forming these superlatives. The examples below illustrate the correct form. Marta is the elder of the four sisters. If there were only two sisters, we could use the superlative elder here. Because there are four sisters, we need a superlative. Marta is the eldest of the four sisters. Here are a couple of other examples. I think his last book is his least interesting. His third book was the most interesting. That must be the weirdest play ever written. Remember that adjectives ending in Y change their spelling when est is added. To form these superlatives, change the Y to an I before adding the est ending and illustrated below. This is the sleepiest puppy of the litter, where sleepiest is written with an I. Forming comparative and superlative adjectives of irregular adjectives. It's important to know that there are irregular adjectives and adverbs that you have to memorize because they don't follow the rules above. They are: good and well become better in comparative form and best in superlative form. Bad and badly become worse in comparative form and worst in superlative form. Far becomes farther or further in comparative form and farthest or furthest in superlative form. Little becomes less in comparative form and least in superlative form. Here are some examples of these irregular words as comparatives and superlatives in context. Today I had the best time touring the city. I went farther than my friend when we walked around the park. You dance better than I do. You bought the least attractive pair of moccasins at the store. He can run the farthest of his classmates, but that's once only around the track. I do badly in math, but at least I'm not the worst. Comparative and superlative adjective of handsome. Besides the regular words in the table above, one other unclear comparative or superlative choice is handsomer or more handsome, handsomest or most handsome. The rules call for handsomer and handsomest, but usage has changed over time. Modern speakers prefer more handsome to handsomer, and there is an even split between handsomest and most handsome. Preferred usage typically follows what native speakers say, and the trend seems to be moving toward the simpler construction of more plus adjective and the most plus adjective. We hope this information will help you in the future. Voice, Azucena Luna. Production, Luis Eduardo López. Good luck and goodbye.